Hey y'all, this is 5 weeks, week 5 of getting ahead of depression. Typically September is the time where I tend to fall into depression, where I tend to not be so focused on mental health, physical health, like all those things. I kind of go into like an autopilot mode. I think when my counselor explained that to me, it was called the muscle memory. So the muscle memory of the last 4 years of being in depression around these times, it started to show up. Some of the things that I've implemented this month that have worked really well: drinking tea. I was doing chai tea in the morning, green tea during the day, and then a chamomile. Was it chamomile? The one that makes you sleepy and relax. I think it's chamomile tea. Implementing that, it really has been supportive in just my overall health, my mental health, physical health, all of those things. I've been very mindful of getting to bed by 8:30, 9:30. So that has been helpful as well. It's allowed me to get rest. It's allowed me to be able to get up and get into the morning routine. The last 4 years, morning routines, they were chaotic. I was last year, first grade, we were always late or just right on time. And we're rushing out the door and it's so chaotic. And it was just like, the last month we've been getting up 6 a.m. We're out the door by 7:15. Like, we have been on it. We have not been late. We've been like 20 minutes early, and that has worked amazing as well. I realized that I've been able to, my mind has been clearer. I have had a lot of clarity. I've been able to make choices for myself and not be so undecisive, which is one of the things that I experienced with in my relationship, being so codependent that I was unable to make choices for myself or even feel confident in them, or even when I would make a choice feeling like it was a wrong choice. So that's one of the things that I've had to deal with. And so I've been very stern in my choices and my decisions. When it comes to being fearful of moving forward with certain things, I will go into a state of avoidance when things were being chaotic or when things were escalating or things like that. Like, that was my way to stay safe for me. One thing that I did notice, and I don't know if anyone's ever noticed this before or gone through it, but it's so easy to deal with people on the outside and being able to deal with the triggers that might come along with, your workplace or coworkers or just people in general. You're able to navigate them better. You're able to set your boundaries, and and in that moment, even if it's something that's like super triggering, you go through that emotion and then you're over it. Like I said, this month has been amazing. For me, I have seen a lot of growth. I've been excited. I've been empowered. I've been uplifted. I've just been on a routine. I'm just like, okay, yeah, go me. Like, we got this. Like, feeling very accomplished. But then yesterday, the biggest thing that I recognized, and it was the end of the month, and I think this was like a test for me or something that I just needed to be more aware of, or something that God might have me working on for this next month, is, if you guys have experienced dealing with behaviors that have put you in the place of protective mode, fight or flight mode, when you've dealt with behaviors in a relationship for years and that muscle memory picks up on the order in which you were supposed to be in or what you were placed in that family dynamic, or in that dynamic in general, that with the relationship, it's almost like when that person comes in, you revert back to those old ways. And so, like, for example, we're just going to use this month, full of growth, full of accomplishments, empowered, everything. 29 days. Yesterday, I witnessed certain behaviors that were happening to me during that time of the relationship. And in witnessing that behavior and having to defend my child in the same area that I had to defend myself in, or try to defend myself in mentally, it put me back into a space in which I started to question everything that I had accomplished. That entire day, I had brain fog. I couldn't think for myself. I was scrambling. I didn't know what I was doing. It was like I was going back into autopilot mode. I was unable to make decisions as simple as what are we making for dinner. Like it was the craziest thing I have experienced. Just that reverting backwards into those spaces of not knowing if I was good enough, not knowing if I, accomplished things, then trying to look for validation in the things that I have accomplished, to see if I was doing things the right way or doing things the way they're supposed to happen. And it was crazy, y'all. And I was able to catch that. I think that, over the last 4 years, that's been the biggest thing for me, is dealing with the person who caused those behaviors and my muscle memory, or my memories of reverting back to that order. I thank God that I was able to catch that trigger just in time. And so one of the things that helped me through that, is I had to sit down and I had to write down everything that I had accomplished. Because what my mom always tells me, the truth refutes lies, facts refute lies, something like that. But anyways, basically, what are the facts, and allowing your facts to speak your truth. So the facts are, I have made some huge accomplishments, and I have been very confident in my choices and my decisions moving forward. I have made a tremendous stride with putting myself on a routine, putting my children in a routine in a way that is allowing us to connect, is in a way that is allowing me to be present for them, is in a way that we are able to be able to support each other mentally and emotionally. Putting them in a routine, just, a routine that I hadn't been able to do for the last 4 years. Getting out the house on time. The last 30 days we've been on time. We have not been late. Being able to navigate all these different areas and spaces, and those are just some of the facts. And so I say all of that to say that, when you've experienced growth, when you've been working so hard to grow in certain areas, typically when I would have that backtrack, I would fall, and it would take a longer time for me to identify and recover. And a lot of the times I would just cry because I would feel like I wasn't healing. I would feel like it wasn't working. I would, have all these different feelings surrounding all this work that I'm putting in, and still having a reaction to it. To now I'm in this space where, okay, I was able to identify it so much faster. I mean, by the end of the day, being able to identify and get back on track, that's a win for me. And the takeaway I want you guys to get from this is, continue to heal, continue to focus on yourself, continue to identify those triggers, continue to identify those emotions that happen around certain people, or, who it is specifically, and how to get in front of that. And maybe not even so much getting in front of it. Maybe it's just a matter of learning how to navigate it and walking in your truth and reminding yourself who you are, writing down your facts, versus allowing your mind to take you back into that space that you were in, or that you were placed in. And so I hope this helps someone. This next month, I'm going to be more focused and aware of, how do I deal with this person moving forward? What are my protective factors that I need to put in place so that I don't start to retract back into that behavior? So far right now, the thing that I've identified was being able to write down the facts, being able to look at myself in the mirror and tell myself what the facts were, what we have accomplished. That works so well for me. I do have a meeting with my counselor, thank God, today. So I will be going over some things with him to better support my mental health and wellness, and the wellness for my family, as well as we move forward through this next stage of life and healing. All right, bye.